Hello, everyone, and welcome to Global Migrant Festival 2020. Global Migrant Festival happens every 2 years with the aim of promoting multiculturalism, providing a platform for migrant workers and refugees to have their voices heard, understand human perspectives of migration, and discuss key cross-cutting issues related to migration, which includes health, economics, safety, art, and gender. My name is Carissa Pujira Harjo, and I have with me today Mazar, Celine, Irma, Zakir, Deb, and Slivia and Alamin from Zebra Crossing. So we walk past one another every day, never ever taking a false step to just stop and look at those who have passed us by. Zebra Crossing is a poetic play which consists of 6 poems written by poets from 3 different countries. It aims to explore what we've missed amidst our fast-paced lives. Through exploring diverse stories, Zebra Crossing explores life as a crossroad of unheard human stories and poetry as the rhythm to unify them. Join the artists on a poetic journey in discovering the marvel of chance meetings and the gift of life. Sail through this poetic voyage that builds bridges between different shores to celebrate a universal human identity. So Zebra Crossing is performed by Mazar, Slivia, Celine, Zakir, Irma, Pardeep, Eli, Nizamol, Uchi, and Alamin. It is directed by Mazar, conceptualized by Zakir, and the script was written by Naive I. Gascon, Deb, and Rolinda Espanola. And I have some of the artists from Zebra Crossing here with me today. Without further ado, let's watch the performance of Zebra Crossing.
From one breath to another, from the falling leaves to the emerging leaflets, dew-dropping night to morning sunshine, from goodbye to a newborn's cry, the coming and going, the river flowing to the ocean and back. We are the children of the river, kissed by the love of mother and father. The child draws the dream with innocence to be a tree at the edge of the river, bearing fruits and spreading the roots deep and strong, and never to leave home. But one day we have to swim to the other side to find oneself and to survive. The river takes back what it gives, and like the birds, we have to cross the horizon to go where the river dies. The walls of concrete fortify the oasis of life. Still, we build perishable nests and try to flourish like the river never dies. Some nights, the memories trespass through the walls we build and shake this new nest with trembling fist. Broken and afraid, we start wandering on the street to look for stories. And to tell the story of the lives that we lived. But often, we are swallowed by the crowd, or engraved by our beliefs and the milestones that we have to reach. Drifted by the city lights, burning intense and bright, we forget the faces of the people that we meet at every zebra crossing of life. We ignore the unheard stories of the rivers. We ignore the unheard stories flowing behind these familiar masks. Still the smell of their aging scent of longing and labor lingers in the trajectories of our present and past. They echo. They echo the tales of a father, a brother, a sister, a lover. The eyes from a distant shore looking back for home. Long gone, but not forgotten. They echo the tale of a mother who holds the hand of a child, not of her own. A mother who builds her daughter's future brick by brick. An ocean away from home. They echo the tale of a shoresman building the ships that he can never hold back home. A shoresman who watches the ships diffusing in the horizon and wishes them to find a home. We do not notice these lives. We do not notice them meeting and living at each zebra crossing and searching for hopes in this city of storms. Let's look back. Let's look back the faces unseen, the stories unheard, the people familiar but rootless as falling spores, and life that unfolds in each breath, in every crossing, and in every stride.
Bathed with the clear morning light and smoke from the roaring engine in this rustic town.
Dust hovered in the mid-air, and truth is printed just before my eyes, that you're going away for more than a while. You turn your back on my face, follow the path rooted to a distant place.
Tears hovered in my eyes as I turned my back on you. Follow the unknown path of distant fate, shouldering the baggage of your bright tomorrow, knowing this journey will not be a breeze. As time throws itself into days and wastes into weeks.
A pool of reality drowned me. Underneath, I started digging an endless pit, sniffing the soil clothes that you left, waiting for your presence to resurface in my orbit.
Nights littered with me in bed, while underneath my pillows are your photographs that iron to turn into your young flesh, for me to endlessly embrace.
The daisies bowed their head into the ground. The grass extended their arms into the sky as the dry leaves stopped. As the dishes, wild needs and lies colonized my hair, the water became a scandal.
I sink slowly into a home that's not my own. Scrub the floor with my bare hands till it glimmers. Feed and beg the children that's not my own.
I waited for the phone to ring, to hear the waves whisper.
I waited for a crack of change to hear your voice from a distance and soothe the burns of this separation.
It's been a while expecting for your return. I ease myself into monthly bank visit. Thrill the pen boxes with love delivered. I buried my head into books and vices, masking my emptiness.
This until conversation faded to the chiming ringtone. Lengthy words of longing run down into an inch of fine.
I don't know you anymore. You're not who I imagined. When the distance has been with us as much as the clock could turn, in the nagging hollow a wall arise, crafted with first-class materials, decorated with charity and pride.
The same wall that I used to lean on, letting my lungs delight in its strain, straining my ears to catch a drop of your voice dissolving in that air. I grasp void from the other side.
Here I am, with a degree in my hand. I guess this is what you want. Perhaps we can roll back the dice to fill all the empty spaces.
I wonder if living really matters. I wonder if loving does too. I wonder if I pave the path well.
Did you ever know that you're my hero? You're everything that I could be. I can fly high like the eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings. Despite of the wall that I built, the trickling silence that I hoard, so I could reach this place. You yield the air that I inhale amidst this breathless race.
Soak into the coarse words ground daily. Along with the synthetic decay of my hands, clouds is built up in my heart. Rush and panic induced veins. Dust grow in my skin. Let us allow the time, not the dime,
To bring the distance closer, to let the wall crumble the breastplate, into bridges across the river, to cross the days your hands wrapping mine.
Is it always feasible to return? Which ship can sail across? Which ship can sail across every ocean of separation? That sedimented, dormant emotions between us.
Thousand ships anchor every day, wearing the stories of distant shore, and thousands live in search of a land that they can call home. For a while, I groom them like my own child whom left at another shore. Had living been not so difficult? Would there be the urge to return in every dream and every night? Had the roots not been green enough? How could have the trees of life survive? Every ruin is pulling me back, and the dead memories reincarnate like the Jesus under the sun. Still I run and run faster to take refuge in faraway fairyland, oblivious to the truth that creation is an impetus to destruction. At the sleepless night, when the floating memories anchor at her, and the armored moon hides behind the lofty facade, amidst choking fire, I look for home.
Oh,
Have you ever heard the song of the sailors riding against the wind? The melancholy of distance that drenches down from their voices always remind me of home.
Home.
Home. Far apart, not only in space, but also in time. Home.
Home.
Long lost, long forgotten, where winter sun arrived like sweet orange pulp, and rain kisses the green floor like a lover trembling touch. Home,
Home.
where hands don't rise to kill, to serve, to beg, but to love.
Life arrives like the morning sun. Sweet touch of soothing sunbeams impresses the earth, and the aroma of dirty chai latte blends with the southern breeze to announce its presence.
With the digital sound of alarm, the city breaks its silent sleep to dance along the chores and duties, a lingering silence.
Dissolved in the busy Singapore air, humid with the sweat of mothers building homes and swordsmen building ships.
Life unfolds as the time passes by, and so the dream of the child till reality climb the middle of the sky and burn it for all scorching lights. Chasing the mirage, people cross the fences in search for shelter beyond their lands, beloved and souls.
People cross the zebra crossing with the strangers by their side. Story captivated in the cabinets live only from 9 to 5.
A glimpse of far-flung shore refuses to come closer. You give away the years of your youth to build a life that was never there.
As rain softens, summons stream heart into the bursting colors of autumn. Life returned with all washed off the shore, to revive sunken dreams out of bricks and bones. Even stars fall to bring light to some lover's home. And the face ignored make this world revolve. We are made of the same dust millions years old, and the light exists for what darkness hides in its soul.
The day consumes itself in a hurry. Time races with the speed of light. Life dissolves as a bubble soap in the air, and before it vanishes in front of our eyes.
It will paint itself with rainbow color for us to savor. Like how little giggles turn into wrinkles, how energy swells like ocean waves and tapers gently into the horizon.
Life anticipates the still beauty of the snow-covered valley where memories revive. The ache and joy of the past melting gently, and as fluid as the river that meets the sea. Like every song dying in silence, but life is a journey, not the end. Cause every end promises a new start, and every winter dies to give birth to spring.
Snowflake dance with the breeze, and do not hesitate politely swallowing the soil, while death illuminates.
Marching feet, vacate, zebra crossing, black and white. There's nothing to go and fight anymore. Still, after apocalypse, wars, and tears of time, what lives on is life.
A lot had come.
Each had fought,
Each had tried.
each had competed,
Each had hope.
each had aspired back.
Only one stand alone
Only one who has willingness
to embrace everything,
to go beyond borders,
aim beyond expectations.
to try beyond limits, because
Life is a learning.
Life is a process that does not end.
Even if you know everything,
It does not stop even when you win.
life your existence, leave a trace.
Be different among your race.
Let love be love. Let love be love. Let love be love.
Welcome back. That was a beautiful performance, and we've got some of the folks from Zebra Crossing here today. So let's start with some introductions. Let's start with you, Celine. Can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Okay. Hello everyone, I am Celine and I am from Philippines and I've been working here in Singapore for 7 years. And I like this kind of poetry because I can express myself during my free time. I go to join classes and some activities until I am become part of migrant writers in Singapore. So I really enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, Celine. So how about you, Zakir? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Hi, Zakir. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Hello. Thank you, Krisha. Hello, everyone. I'm Zakir Hussain Kupon. I work here almost 17 years, and I'm from Bangladesh. Yeah, that's it. And we are working together from Migrant Rider of Singapore. And this zebra crossing is a team performance. Yep.
Great. How about you, Irma?
Hi, and I've been working in Singapore for 4 years. I'm joined with zebra crossings because of migrant writers of Singapore, and then I spend my off day with the migrant community, and then photography. That's all.
Thank you. How about you, Mazar?
Hi, this is Mazar here. Thank you very much for inviting us all together. This was a completely different kind of journey with Zebra Crossing, with our total production. I am working here as a mechanical coordinator in petrochemical refinery and working with recitation for last 17 years. So this was a grand platform for me to work with a lot of multinational people and multinational talents together. That's it.
Great, thank you. Would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself, Deb?
Hey, yeah, thank you for organizing this session and like recognizing Zebra Crossing, and it's really an honor to be a part of it. So I am Devabruta Basu, and I am actually from India. So I did my PhD. So I did, I think, around 5 years in Singapore, and now I'm in France working as a professor. So we started Zebra Crossing as a part of this migrant poetry journey that we started long ago, and we're still going through with Zakir. And yeah, it was really an experience, that creation of Zebra Crossing and like having all these people on the board at the same time. And really thanks to Mazar for like taking it forward, taking the responsibility of directing it again. When like, we left, we thought like there's no more Zebra Crossing going to be performed, but thanks to him for carrying forward. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you for that. And last but certainly not least, Slivia and Alamin, would you mind telling the audience a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Yeah. We joined Zebra Crossing when we invited to be part of the play, and then at the same time they are looking for the team looking for a musician, and then since Alamin can play ukulele, then Alamin also joined the team. Yeah, I think it's like since I'm not really migrant, I'm not really local, but I'm not really I'm just immigrant, and Alamin he's local, so I think it's nice collaboration between a local migrant immigrant. Yeah, it's a very interesting experience for both of us.
Great, well, it's really lovely to meet all of you, and I'm very excited to talk to you a little bit more about Zebra Crossing. So the performance that we just saw, I'm assuming that it was recorded during the pre-COVID days. So can you tell us a little bit about the origins of Zebra Crossing, and also where was this performed and what's the story behind this performance?
Of course, the ball goes to Devabrata Basu because he is I would say he is the father of Zebra Crossing. So I'll request Devabrata Basu and Zakir together. Please start up, and I'll join with you.
So to start, I think like we have to go back a long way. Like I think when we are writing the Migrant Tales, and like Zakir and I, after both of our works, met one evening in Harbourfront, I think, and we thought it would be nice to have this poetic performance. So not only writing poetry, but performing poetry along with music, along with people, along with like a proper production and performance. So I think that was the starting point of Zebra Crossing, and then we finally found out like interesting poets like Rolinda, Naive, Ria, and our whole group, Deepu, and our whole group, and we found out, okay, so we are all kind of migrants in both space, places, or in time. Like, the Singapore skyscape changes every time. The last time I have been there, and like now I think it has changed. So we wanted to talk about this life that's always been in crossing, life that's always changing. And it is like zebra crossing in, like when you are crossing the road, when it is office time, and everyone is going to somewhere. But no one knows that someone just passing by has some story, or generally is too busy to not ask about that. But we wanted to tell this story of life, that everyone is passing through a phase, through a place, through a time, through a situation. But what lives on after all this is life. Like the zebra crossing has always been there, will always be there. Just the passerby's change. So the same story we wanted to portray through these phases. If you see, there are different phases, like a migrant father, there's a migrant a daughter and mother, and also like there's some two urban people talking to each other in form of like seasonality and life. You'll see there will be metaphors of different seasons, different times of day. So how basically things change, but our lives go on. That's what we wanted to portray, and that's what we say in the chorus. Thank you. And Zakir, if you want to say something more about that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Debabrata. Actually, this zebra crossing starts from one poetry. The poetry title is Zebra Crossing. And the poetry idea was everybody cross each other. Are we know each other really? That is the question from that poem. And after I wrote that poem, I discussed with our community, with the Babarata Boshu, Rolinda, Ria, and others. Then we meet several Sunday. I think almost 3-4 months, every Sunday we meet together and we discuss that what kind of story we can bring up. Then after that, for writing the script, Debabrata, Rolinda, and Knife, they take responsibility. That is the awesome things that 3 of them make this script, and we start a rehearsal. And we did really very hard work for rehearsal. Every Sunday, I think we go National Library, the open stage area, and we go NUS so many Sunday, and we do rehearsal. This is actually was the first part of the zebra crossing. We did total three session or 3 performance in several area, different stage. We start from Esplanade. After we performed zebra crossing one festival, then third was last December we did or we performed zebra crossing in a National Library, first migrant literature festival. So these 3, and now what you see in global migrant festival, this is our 4th stage zebra crossing. So in this 4th stage, when we go, that time actually Debabrata go out from Singapore, rolling down not in Singapore. So how Debabrata said that we are thinking maybe zebra crossing is not running anymore. But luckily, we meet very incredible and very powerful and very lovely people who love poetry and perform, like Celine, like the responsibility take, the direction responsibility take by Majhar, and Nizamul. He did a very wonderful dance with Uchi and Irma, Slavia. Alamin did a wonderful music. Thank you, Alamin, again to you. You did really awesome and make life in our performance. So this way, actually, we come together and we make this zebra crossing. And we did, I think, a rehearsal. We did almost 3 months. Every Sunday we meet morning 10 o'clock at National Library open field, and we did this rehearsal until afternoon. So we meet together, we sit together, we discuss rehearsal every Sunday. That time, this rehearsal time was very awesome and wonderful. This actually make us a good bonding also. What we always focusing that poetry, this is a wonderful platform where local and migrant can come together, make a good bonding together. So this zebra crossing, how Slavia say, she is local and her son is local, and we are migrants from different countries. Selene is from Philippines, then Irma is from Indonesia, then Pradeep is not here now, but he is in perform. So he is from India, Ali from Indonesia. So this way actually we make Uchi is from Indonesia. This way actually, I don't know, I missed some name or not. I think Mazhar can cover this. So this way we come, you see, we come together and we make this possibility and this performance at Zebra Crossing. Hopefully this, what are you watching, this global festival, hopefully you enjoy that. Yeah, Teresa?
Well, actually, this was a summary, and from me, I just want to add on. When Zakir just suddenly sent me the script in a WhatsApp, and he just told me that you have to go through this script, and he sent me a YouTube link. That was the YouTube link for the first and second show, and I was just coming out from my office, and usually I work in a petrochemical refinery, which is in the middle of the sea. So every day I just cross with the ferry to go there. So when he sent me this message, I was on the way back and I was in a ferry. So I was sitting in the middle of the ocean. And I just went through the script and the video, especially the video. And I was thinking that eventually I am on a zebra crossing too, because all the ferries are passing, crossing over the sea, crossing over the ocean. And inside a ferry, there are more than 200 people from different families and different backgrounds. Each and everyone is having their own story. And this script is just, I would say this is a fine blend of a total world multinational situation. So in this situation, and when I saw this script, I remember one of my stage production. As back in Bangladesh, I was usually regular stage performer. I was doing theater artist and I was in recitation. So we had a performance which was named like Advertisement for Friendship, and definitely that was in Bengali language. But I was remembering that show, and on the spot, I was just thinking a lot of evaluation and a lot of adding in like dance, like background music, and then we can mix it up in a different ways. So all these actually, what I'll say that all this actually made up a fine blend. And I got suggestion from Zakir, I got suggestion from Debabrata especially. Nai was there, and she started Rolinda was there, and after a few days, both of them left due to some reason, their personal reasons. So then we got out these people, Celine, Irma, Slavia, Alamin especially, who just played like he was just played like he is not a part of the script. He's playing just himself, and we were enjoying the music, and we just made the whole thing. And especially, I would like to thank our other people, those who are not here, and some of them are currently not in Singapore due to pandemic situation. Ellie, Pradeep, Nizamol, Uchi. I would like to say that this was a lifetime achievement for me to follow the footstep of a person like Debabrata. I tried my best to cover it up, and I know there are a lot of minus points. I know there are a lot of lackings, and we are working on it. Hopefully on the next show we can cover it up. Thanks, Carissa.
I think it was such a beautiful performance. And you say that there were lackings or there were mistakes, but like I don't, as an audience member, I can't see that at all. It was really such a flawless performance. And I love that central theme of the zebra crossing, and I thank you for sharing that beautiful story. I think it ties in the images and the how all of this came together very nicely. And I really respect everybody's dedication to this. And I'm glad that you are able to keep it going despite the hiccups and everything. So I'd like to actually call on those we haven't heard from yet, Celine, Irma, and Slivia and Alamin. What was one thing that you learned through this process?
Something that I learned through this process is a teamwork. And through this teamwork, I developed my confidence. Because of them, they boast my confidence that, wow, I'm not that perfect as a poet yet, but they still accepted me. And they are really good friends. So there is a bonding. It's like a family to everyone. So we made a very good teamwork to each other. And I will become more open about myself because I keep myself for so long. And after meeting the migrant writers in Singapore, I started to talk, and it's just like a flower who bloomed. It's sleeping for a long time, but after there's a lot of like rain and sun, and then I got bloom. And I would like to say thank you to Brother Sakir for encouraging me to join migrant writers in Singapore, and to all of them also, because they said for trusting me to get the part of as a doctor. They trust me, and I really appreciate how they push me to build up myself in poetry. Thank you so much.
So how about you, Irma or Slivia and Alamin? Any lessons learned through this process, or just any memories that you'd like to bring up?
Okay, okay. Let me answer first. I think this zebra crossing is very amazing experience for both of us. And then I think poets and writers should support each other. Uh, Despite the status, migrant, immigrant, local, international, intergalactica, even, but we should support each other. There's differences between us. There's we can't that's our life, right? But we are bonding, like what Zakir said. We are bonding with poetry. Yes, I always remember what Zakir said every time we do the rehearsal. He always say we bond with poetry.
Thank you for sharing that. How about you, Irma? What are your takeaways, or what did you learn through this process?
Actually, I learned a lot from this zebra crossing, and then actually it was first time my perform in the big stage, and then this is my new experience. I learned about the teamwork and friendship, because before I joined with the migrant writers, I spend most of my off days like I have no friends. So I learned a lot about the friendship and the teamwork. Thank you.
I'm so glad that all of you were able to build community and get to know more like-minded individuals, and lean on each other a little bit more. It's such a lovely community that you've created. So I see that everybody has different, comes from different backgrounds and has different art practices. Some of you are poets, some of you are directors, some of you are musicians, and there were some dancers as well in the performance. So how did you know each other? How did you decide to come together and create this such a multidisciplinary performance?
And for me, I'll
Okay, I
actually.
can give answer. Sorry. Okay. Actually, we doing from Migrant Writer of Singapore. We doing Carnival of Poetry every month for Sunday. We meet together in Singlet Station, and we are local and migrant. We together share our poetry as per theme. So from that Carnival of Poetry, we slowly know each other. Yeah, this way actually we introduce each other. And for Mazhar, actually, I know we create one Bengali recitation organization here. After that, I know him. And Debabrata, actually, I know him. He did so many translations, and he is the translator of the Migrant Tales, one anthology of a Bengali migrant writer in Singapore. So this way, actually, I know Debabrata, and he is very helping and open-minded friend. So this way, we come together and we meet together. So we come from different corner, but actually we meet together in poetry stage. Yeah.
Thank you. And I think somebody else was about to say something as well earlier.
No, that was me. That was me actually. But Zaki already covered everything. Actually, we all get to know each other from Carnival of Poetry, and at the same time, what Zaki was saying about there is a we have a recitation practice corner. It was started actually for Bengali poetries, and we started to work on it. But then we all mixed together and we started to work on multilinguistic poems. So we got to know each other basically on a poetry platform.
Awesome. I'm so glad that you guys were able to get connected to create this beautiful piece. And I can imagine it must have been difficult to coordinate everyone's busy schedules and perhaps everybody's like different varied abilities to leave their places of residence. So what was the process of organizing this like? Do you have any advice for other migrant artists or even other arts organizers in terms of coordinating or finding a platform or a rehearsal space? I think you mentioned that you were able to use NUS as a rehearsal space. So what kinds of access were important in terms of putting this together?
I think I can take this answer, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure, please.
So I think, yeah, so as Zaki has already said and Mazhar has already said, building this community was not like a single project. It was a real long process. So we came to know each other like through years, over the years. And like you know already, like this will be the 28th of Carnival of Poetry. So it has been running for more than 2.5 years almost. So it was a long process to get all the people together. And as you have said already, the schedule, that was really a tough thing. Like really, really tough. Like we had to organize, we had to push people like sometimes more than what they can do, what they can get. And yeah, when you make a family, you sometimes push because of the family. So, and theater is obviously a family work. So we were trying to build that. And obviously about the resources, that was a big problem. I think we had a lot of issues to get space, but luckily like back then I was in NUS, so I knew where in NUS we have big space where no one goes and like you can just rehearse. So we used to do that mainly, or even the National Library building, that used to be our first choice because that's where most of our poets or migrant poets used to meet and still meets. So that was the first choice, but then we found out that is a bit noisy and that's not a proper place where you can rehearse. So we were searching almost everywhere. I think we even met in Botanical Garden, we even met in Esplanade, we even met in like NUS, and then we found out, okay, NUS is kind of the place where you can simulate the stage and do the performance. So I think it is a bit hard work to get actually the place. I think for future art organizers, if there's some kind of initiative to allow them space that they need to do this kind of rehearsals rather than normal auditoriums, it is hard for migrant writers to book auditoriums actually to just do rehearsal. So yeah, if they can get some space like that or resources that they can lean on easily, that would be very easy. I think they don't have to run around Singapore to find places that we had to do. So that would be one thing. But the main point I would say, like even after all these problems, after all these like issues, we were able to like overcome that. I think also Mazar, Zakir, Irma, Celine, like the new group also overcame that because they made a family out of that. So when you do poetry like that, when you try to perform it, when you try to make a theater production, you just become a family. And then you push each other. Obviously, sometimes it, specifically the directors are very annoying people, uh, but often that creates the bonding, opens up people, make new friendships. And I think, yeah, that's how it goes. That's the life of it.
Thank you for sharing your experiences and your tips. And so my last question for everybody today is, what is Zebra Crossing kind of up to next? What have you been up to since recording this? Do you have any future performances in the works? And how can our viewers follow your journey and get updates about future things to come?
Well,
Okay,
in
I
that
take
case,
this part.
I'll just leave it to Zakir because he got all those updates.
Yeah, so thank you, Majar bhai. Uh, uh, they can follow our Facebook page, Migrant Writer of Singapore. Also, they can follow our Carnival of Poetry Facebook page. Even they can email us. Yeah, this way they can connect with us. Yeah, that's it. This way we can follow up. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, we have plans to go with Zebra Crossing, and of course, we are discussing about having more shows about on this Zebra Crossing. Initially, we were having to have a online performance, but when we went through our rehearsals, we found it really difficult because a stage performance is always very difficult to cope into an online platform. And when we are doing a stage performance or theatrical performance, it needs a space, and especially some performance like Zebra Crossing, which is a story of the world. I'll say this is a story of the mankind. What happens every day. So we are looking upon it, and especially, of course, we are waiting for this pandemic situation to overcome. And after that, we will come down again. And all of us, we are discussing every day whenever we meet each other, or either physically or online. We are still thinking that what we can do with Zebra Crossing, where we can do more modification, what else we can add in, and all of these things are ongoing. So hopefully, you guys will see another better performance in future.
But to like conclude, Maza, like it is very good that as an artist you are aware of your negative points, but you remember the only time you are ready when you are stage ready when you are on stage. That's the only time you know you are ready. That so there's never before and after you are satisfied with that. That's one big thing. And about the plans, I'll say like with theater specifically, with poetic plays and all, or poetic performance, having an audience is very important. We can try to do online, but I remember like one of the things I always share with my friends about the first performance of Zebra Crossing, when you're performing in Esplanade and like there were, it was a red dot August and people could just pass by and they can just stand if they like it, they just watch it, otherwise they just pass. when we started, it was like 15, 20 people. And when we ended, it was like more than 60, 70, or nearly 100, or I don't know how many. Like there are lots of people. So just people were passing by, and from the stage, you can see those faces, right? How they're reacting, how they're soaking it in. And then you suddenly, so what we have used one trick also, like the performers were inside audience and they started walking from there. So when you see that, that feeling that suddenly they are also getting involved. And I still remember faces of some of the like elderly persons who kind of were like very much intrigued by it, very emotional after the play. Without that audience, theater is incomplete. Like the director, the script, the actors, they are a part of it, but equally audience is a part of it. Without those eyes looking at you, you cannot, without those faces giving emotions and reactions, it's not, you don't get that flavor of acting. So
Definitely
maybe,
not.
yeah, let's hope the pandemic gets over soon and we can all do more events and more performances of Jabberwock.
To add on in this emotional part, I just want to add on, like when we are doing rehearsal on this for our third production, it was like when all of us together at the National Library open space, we were doing that rehearsal. We were so deep inside that script. In some points of the movement, in some points of the dialogues, we were literally crying. There were tears in our eyes. And those people who were moving around in National Library, and especially, there is a snacks bar in the corner of the National Library. So people are watching from that corner, and they were like thinking that what is actually ongoing. So in a sense, like it was maybe our third or fourth rehearsal, I can't remember. We introduced music with a speaker and of course with ukulele, and then people were just all those passing people were just stopped, and they were thinking that actually what is happening. And I can remember in one of our part that we all were giving dialogues, delivering our situation, and we were having tears in our eyes, and people were having tears in their eyes. So this is a kind of a lifetime achievement, and this doesn't finish anytime.
Yeah, I was getting really emotional too when I was watching the performance, and I can only imagine, like what it would have been like to actually be there and to kind of feel the audience as well. And it's truly a loss to. Sorry, there's a bit of feedback. Yeah, it's been such a loss to have the not have a live audience during this pandemic. And so hopefully we'll be able to bounce back from it soon, and you'll be able to perform again. And I wish you the best of luck in the future, finding space and finding a platform. But if there's anything I've learned from this conversation, it's that all of you here are very resilient and dedicated. And so I'm sure whatever obstacles there are, you'll be able to overcome it. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us today. I actually had a bunch of other questions, but unfortunately we've come to the end of our time here. So those of you watching,
Hello. May I just last
oh yeah,
word?
absolutely, please.
Yeah, okay. In zebra crossing, what I love the most is we respect each other and we use good language to express ourselves. That's the reason why we gain our own value. Then as like I respect you, you respect me. Then I thank you so much for this team. It's such a good experience for us to join this team. Thank you so much for the nice script, also for the Bobrata Basu. Thank you so much for Zakir and Naive, and the script is very, very beautiful. And we are happy to join this Migrant Writers Singapore Zebra Crossing. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah, and so for those of you who are watching this at home, please do check out the rest of the Global Migrant Festival lineup. there are a bunch of other fantastic panels and showcases for you. And we hope you enjoyed your time with me here today and with the Zebra Crossing team. Thank you.
Thank you.